Hello everyone. Long time no see. There was a bit of let's just say a hiccup in the channel and in my life, but I'm here today to do a little Q&A. So in case you didn't see on my community tab, I had asked for a couple questions. I had also asked on both Twitter and Instagram, and I have gathered the ones that I think are the most important and would be the most interesting to answer, that's for sure. But enough of that. I like to ramble a lot, but let's go ahead and get to one of the most asked questions for sure, and that's what got me into cosplay, or what got you into cosplay. So I always tell the story of I was sort of on the outskirts of cosplay when I was younger, like a teen. I knew what it was. Like, I knew of Jessica Negri, I knew of Kamui, I knew of Meg Turney, mostly because of Rooster Teeth. And I had seen them do cosplay, but I was always like, I don't know if I can do cosplay. Like, that seems like something that, like, these really talented and good-looking and popular people do. I don't know if I could do cosplay as a unknown teenager. And I held that with me. I didn't really craft. I just sort of, watched the videos, and I was inspired. I've always been very creative, but I never really took the leap. That is until I went to college. And I actually lived a couple doors down from my now best friend, Luck of the Lion. You might have remembered her from one of my videos here in this channel. She was an established cosplayer in the scene about 4 years, and she came up to me and was like, "Hey, can you help me, like, saran wrap and duct tape myself?" And I said, Sure. What for?" And then while I was, saran wrapping her body, we've only met like a couple times at that point. And so while I was doing that with her, she was telling me more about how her cosplay was and how she's been doing this for a little bit in her account there, and I followed her. And then from there, it just sort of exploded. I actually had Leon help me make my very first cosplay, which was the Daenerys blue dress. She made that completely from scratch, and I made the little dragon necklace. I was so proud that I could make that little thing, and of course she taught me. And so that's really what got me into cosplay, was Leon coming up, grabbing me by the throat, and getting me into this hobby and profession. So I love her. Alright, this next question is, what is some advice to become a full-time cosplayer / content creator? So if you didn't know, I became full-time in January. I left my job and started doing this full-time. And there's a lot of things that I've learned from doing this 8 months now. So for the advice I always give people when they want to go full-time in either cosplay or content creation is do something that you're passionate about first. Don't go into this thinking that you're going to make a lot of money, or that you're going to get thousands upon millions of followers dedicated to you in a short amount of time. A lot of this field is honestly luck and hard work. And sometimes your luck is really good and you have a video that blows up and that sort of helps your traction down the line. Other times, it's a lot of your hard work that's noticed. People see your video quality increase, they see your cosplays increase, and then they start following you from that. However, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, it can turn into a real slog really quickly. If you find yourself only creating something for other people, you will soon find that it's a lot harder to upkeep. And one of the most important things about doing this full time is, of course, having a schedule and, keeping up with it, keeping up with your posting schedule, social media, all that stuff. So, number one piece of advice, choose what you're passionate about first. Now, what was my hardest cosplay to make? Well, it's a cosplay that's still in the making. And that's definitely my Aloy cosplay that's up and coming. I hope to have her finished by December, because I am competing with her and I need to have her done by frickin' December. Because it's been 2 years now. She's been a lot. There's a lot of different techniques, and her wig is insane, and I haven't done a lot of insane wig work until then. There's a lot of different materials to work with, and it's a lot to keep track of, but I know that the final project is going to be really, really cool just based on the pieces I finished alone. What is the biggest barrier to new cosplayers? So, you know, when you start a hobby and you really look up to people and you're like, wow, that embroidery that I saw on TikTok is really cool. I bet I could do that. And, you know, good on you. So you go buy all of your materials and you start working, and then you realize that, oh, this is hard. And what I'm making kind of sucks. And then you give up. At least that's how I've been doing it for my entire life. But with cosplay, however, getting to know that your first works will be not to your expectations or not to your quality level, and sort of having to work through that is, you know, part of the process. It's one of the biggest barriers, and what turns a lot of people away is they're like, I made this thing and it didn't turn out good the first time. I'm done with this hobby. Get me out of here. But if you keep learning and growing and expanding on those skills, you will get to be an amazing cosplayer one day, and your work will be up to your standards. Maybe. Unless you're like me and you have very high standards of your work. That's a whole different beast, though. So, just like with any hobby, with cosplay, just make things. Get that skill, get that learning experience. Just make things. It doesn't have to be good. Just make things so that you can learn. Now, another question I got was, what is this September thing? What is this moth thing you keep posting about? And what are all your weird TikTok captions? I don't understand them. I don't understand them either. I write them at the top of my head. But something very big and very exciting is happening in September that I can't talk about quite yet, probably in the next week or so, that involves something right here, and something that I've shown in a couple of videos that may look like I'm doing something related to cosplay, but not really. There will be news coming very, very soon about that, and I'm really excited. I'm very stressed about that, but I'm very excited. Excitement over stress. And finally, for the last question, I saved this one to the end because I thought it was hilarious, and it made me think. If you had a button that every time you pressed it, it would finish a cosplay instantly, however, it had a 1% chance of dropping an anvil right in front of you, would you press the button, and how many times? So originally I was going to say no, because I feel like I'm incredibly unlucky and I will be that 1% on the first time I do it. So I was like, no, that I wouldn't do that because I would die. But then I thought more about it, and my answer is still no, but not for that reason. For me, cosplay is really, even though I do take my sweet time working on something, the process and the journey to get to the final process is honestly the most fun part. Learning how to do everything and seeing it all come together like right in front of you is like, wow, my hands made that? That's insane. It's one of the big reasons that I really love cosplay and I really love crafting and creating. So no, not because of the anvil, but because I really do like the process of creating things. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this sort of impromptu and more casual style video, and I'm really excited to say what's coming in September. I've been working very, very hard on it, and I hope that it will excite you as much as it excites me. I'll see you guys next time.